My name is Dunny, set up builds and stuff. Today it's Christmas, so I've done you two tiny little builds, all based around the sword, the Zephyr. This has got the Rimestealer surrounded combo. This is my personal god roll. There's a lot of god roll guides out there, etc. This is my god roll, and I want to show you why. With Rimestealer and surrounded, you get a mixture of frost armor times 8. Loads of damage reduction, and the surrounded perk will also give you some nice damage increase, but I want to sort of like focus on the Stag a little bit with this first Warlock build as well to get even more damage reduction on top of your times 8 frost armor. So we're going to be taking a look at a Warlock with frost armor and the Stag, and then we've also got a little look at Precious Scars working with this sword on a Titan as well. So if this interests you, stay with me, I'll break it all down. We'll start off with the sword, the Zephyr. It is an adaptive frame stasis sword. We all know how to get this by now. It's from the Dawning, bake some cookies, deliver some cookies, blah blah blah. And then you should get one of these dropped. You can focus it, keep going until you get the roll you want. My personal god roll is Rimestealer. Destroying a stasis crystal and defeating a frozen target with this weapon grants you an improved amount of frost armor. The enhanced version gives you times 2 frost armor. And then surrounded, the enhanced version of this will give you a 41.75% damage increase on swords whenever you're surrounded. Surrounded is a really good perk for swords, and then it's also got the origin trait on there, Dawning Surprise. So if we just take a look at this, throw your Glacier Grenade down, and just smashing them with your sword with the Rimestealer perk will give you a times 8 frost armor. One stack of frost armor is 4.5% damage reduction, so times 8 is a 36% damage reduction. Not too shabby. Just by simply smashing a crystal or a few frozen targets, you can easily get that times 8 going. Now, one of the fragments you must run to get the times 8 is Whisper of Rime. This will improve the amount of frost armor and give the increased duration of time as well. Add in Glacial Harvest. Freezing targets create stasis shards around the frozen targets. Higher tier combatants create more shards. And then while you've got Glacial Harvest equipped, picking up these shards will also grant you frost armor. Bang on Frost Pulse. Casting your Rift generates a shockwave that freezes nearby targets. And then between these two aspects of the Glacial Harvest and the Frost Pulse plus your Rimestealer, you can always keep a times 8 going all of the time. Now, just by freezing something and getting a kill with a sword, just one thing is going to give you times 4. That's a mixture of the Rimestealer and the Glacial Harvest. Put a Glacier Grenade down, which will kill enemies that are frozen as well. And you're going to get frost armor by simply smashing the crystal with your Rimestealer perk. Get your Frost Pulse down, and you can always keep a times 8 going, which is a 36% damage reduction on the fly whenever you want, basically. Plus you've got that surrounded going. Frost Pulse is extremely excellent fragment in my opinion, and you can see there it freezes multiple targets. It's not just in the rift, it actually extends outside the rift as well. If you put on Whisper of Refraction, defeating slowed or frozen combatant, that's also going to grant you class ability energy. And then Whisper of Conduction to make your stasis shards track to your position. You're always going to get that times 8 going and get loads of class ability back. Add in the Stag. Your Rift provides damage reduction to allied guardians and yourself. Standing in a rift grants energy when you are critically wounded as well, and on your death it will leave a rift on your death spot. It gives you a 25% damage reduction, plus your healing rift, plus your times 8 frost armor 36%, so you get 36% frost armor, the times 2 resist 25%, and you're extremely tanky. But just for sort of like end game stuff, it's really solid. I wanted to try it in the GM, but again it's the oscillation perk. I didn't really fancy running the sword in the GM when there's no buff to that sword, so I took it to the highest difficulty loss sector. Just by standing in your rift with a Stag is excellent anyway, just getting that extra bit of damage reduction if you need to do things at range. But obviously the main focus of the build will be this sword with the surrounded. But I just want to show you again how easy it is to get that frost armor stack going, just by simply freezing a target with your Glacier Grenade, smashing it up, and you're going to get that times 8 for like 12-13 seconds. And then your Frost Pulse works perfectly with Rimestealer and surrounded, as we've touched on. You'll see there, surrounded procced, you've got my times 8 frost armor, and plus whenever you stand in that rift you're going to get that extra 25% as well. So quite a nice damage reduction, 25% plus the 36% from the Rimestealer and the frost armor perks. Really good, and obviously just the slowing effects of Frost Pulse and the Glacier Grenade is really good for unstoppables and sometimes overloads as well. It really works perfectly, this little setup. So like I said, it was just sort of a little feature of a build. What I wanted to show you, I'll leave a dim link for this particular build. Now what we're going to do is switch over to the Titan, the Tectonic Harvest aspect, shattering a stasis crystal or a frozen target. It creates a stasis shard and you can pick that shard up to give you a stack of frost armor. So you only have to shatter a crystal, you don't have to defeat targets. Howl of the Storm is another aspect that works really nicely because you can convert your melee to slide, and that will also create like an energy that freezes targets and creates stasis crystals. So between your Glacier Grenade and your Howl of the Storm, that's just another way to keep that frost armor going. All you got to do is smash them crystals on the Titan. Don't forget, you don't have to actually freeze anything or kill anything. All you have to simply do is just use your Howl of the Storm like so. Throw your Glacier Grenade down and that will give you a constant supply of ×8 frost armor. That's without the Rimestealer. Now add your Rimestealer into there as well, and again it's just another way to keep that frost armor going all of the time, and it's just really strong. You'll see in here the ×8, these usually one bang you when they stomp, but you see that ×8, just able to survive it. So it's pretty decent, that frost armor. It's just a really good way with both builds to keep the frost armor stacks going as much as possible. Now exotic wise, if you're adding precious scars, this just adds to the build really nicely, because final blows with weapons that match the damage type of your super, i.e. stasis, will heal you and nearby allies. It gives you restoration every time you get a kill with a stasis weapon. So you've got all your frost armor going on, and I'll keep banging on about it at 36%. Plus healing as well with precious scars, and it feels really nice. You can add other stasis weapons into there as well. Something like Lost Signal or Stay Frosty with Headstone Rimestealer. But Lost Signal pairs with this one really nicely, because that will just randomly get you the odd kill here and there when you're not expecting it. Just keep spraying it about a bit like a mini Wither Horde. So there are your two little setups for this severe sword. Like I said, I didn't want to focus massively onto like one build. I wanted to show you a couple of options. I hope this sort of style sort of makes sense to you. It helps you out a little bit with whatever sword you want to choose. But my personal one would be Surrounded for the extra damage, and the Rimestealer works perfectly for these two type of builds. I hope you found it helpful. Have a great day. Thanks for watching.